This song came out of kind of nowhere, just sitting and fiddling on our parents' piano in our childhood home. Hey, I'm Elliott.
I'm Sam, and we are from the Rubens, and this is what inspired our new song, Pets and Drugs.
It was a voice memo, so I've seen the voice memo date again. I'm pretty sure it was around April 2022. Our dad was walking past as I was playing it, and he asked, "Oh, whose is that?" And I said, "Oh, I hope it's mine," because I wasn't actually sure. And these chords just came out of nowhere, and I was kind of surprised by them, and so recorded them, hoping that it could be an idea. The way we normally work on any idea is we'd sit with it ourselves with our small recording setup and demo it to a point where we feel like that demo can then show what maybe we're hearing in our heads.
It becomes like a Rubens song once we actually go and everyone does their thing and replace the shitty bass line that I did.
Dun, dun.
Does it do it on the first part as well, what I'm playing? Or does it do it every time?
No, just at the end.
We recorded our first 2 records in New York, had a big, amazing studio where a lot of the biggest classic records were made, and that was fun, but that's one way of doing it, and the other way of doing it is going back to your hometown and being in a World War II bunker in the middle of nowhere and having that seclusion. And I think we've worked out that as much as we love New York and being in places like that temporarily, like, this is just a calm, safe, like zen space for us.
They've held tune pretty well for 4 floods.
I guess was it last year, 2022?
I think so.
Camden flooded twice, and where the studio is that Will has, it's next to a river, very close to a river. So I think there was a few nights where Will was up all night sandbagging the bunker, and it became an island.
He couldn't get out, and no one could get
it out, and no one could get in. So we were stuck there with all our musical equipment, and we had to go on tour that morning. And we were having to Google helicopters and stuff to try and work out how to get the gear out.
And the making of this track was our first time back at the bunker, back in the studio after all that. So it was kind of like
everything was so damp.
Everything was damp. There was mold growing on everything. It was a little bit stinky. But it was also very exciting just to be in there and Scotty cracking his drums open and just seeing whether they had maybe rotted or were still alive. Weirdly, they were still in tune. Yeah, it was kind of like, being an archaeologist going back and underground and seeing what still existed and then eventually, getting the mold away and starting recording on this track.
The dog one, what's it called?
Pets and Drugs?
Pets and Drugs, yeah.
I think often for song lyrics and song titles, the first thing that comes to your head you might steer away from because for some reason you might be like, oh, that's too weird or that's too different or maybe that's not us, and then eventually you try all these other things and you come back to it because the first idea was the best idea and the most true to what you had for the song. I thought at first maybe we're not allowed to do this, it just seems too out there. And then eventually we just came back to it and it's like, no, this is right, this feels right. The line, to build a life upon the things that we love, I feel like as obvious as it might be, often it's kind of, you might find yourself straying from those things, whether it is friends, family, or people that you care about, or even just things that you like to do, things that you're passionate about, golf. It really can be just as simple as that, recognizing the things that you care about, what's going to make your life happy, and then pursuing those things. With a lot of our music, it's hard to unpack without kind of destroying the song meaning. Especially because of the title of the song, I'd rather people listen to it and find their own meaning. If there is anything for them, maybe not. Maybe it is just pets and drugs for them.
I'll try and put it back. It was just, the other day it was running in mono. It might have been better for you.
Performing vocals on a track can be so stressful and can make you so anxious because it's like, well, we've only got a certain amount of time in an expensive studio, there's people watching me, and your performance might not be that great. Whereas doing it the way we do it now in Camden, our hometown, in the bunker, just the band in the room, it's the vibe, I think, benefits the performances that you get on the track in the end, which is so important and actually enjoyable now. Making records feels just kind of like you and your mates experimenting and having fun, and there's no outside pressure, which is really, really helpful.